The algorithm for reversing a string looks like this. First, we take the O and add it to S new, then we add L to S new, and keep going until all the letters have been added. Before we begin writing the main program, remember that we can add strings together, and that the order we add them in matters. When we compile and run this code, notice that hello world is printed. Now if we add the strings in the reverse order, world hello will be displayed instead. Now let's reverse hello so that S new will contain its reverse. Let's take note that the letter H is at index 0 and that the letter O is at index 4, which is string S's size minus 1. Now let's start running the main program. Because we want to repeat a chunk of code to continuously add each letter from S to S new, we'll need to use a loop. In this example, we'll use a for loop. We want to access the last letter first, so we initialize int I to be string S's size minus 1. To add each letter from string S to S new, we'll use this piece of code. This code takes a letter in string S and adds it to S new. If we didn't have a loop and only executed this piece of code once, we would be taking the last letter in string S and adding it to the empty string S new. S new will now contain S instead of an empty string. Alternatively, you can use the commented code, which is equivalent to the code above, but allows you to see and understand the addition and assignment operations more clearly. Because we want to start accessing the letters in string S from end to beginning, we'll decrement int I each time we execute the code in the for loop. Now let's think of how we'll exit the for loop. We want to exit the loop after H has been added to S new. So we want to keep executing this code until H has been added. Remember that we're using SI to access the letters in S. Therefore, we start at S4, then S3, then S2, etc. until we reach S0. However, there will be a point where I decrements past 0 and I becomes -1. But there is nothing in the -1 position of strings. It holds an unknown value. Trying to access unknown variables or locations can cause unexpected errors or results. This is the point where we want to exit the loop. So we want to keep executing S new plus equals SI while I is greater than or equal to 0. Now let's run the program and see what S new contains. S new now contains the reverse of string S. You can also use this code to see how S new changes each time you add a letter.